Hello, my name's Laurence Russell with Satellite Evolution Group. I'm here with David Andre today of Santander Teleport. We're going to be talking a little bit about the ground segment. How are you doing today, David?
Very good, thank you. How are you, Laurence?
Wonderful, I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. We want to know, in the wake of the digitization boom under the pandemic, what's your impression of the ongoing movement to virtualize teleport functions?
Well, this is a very interesting topic for us. I mean, for a company, being a teleport operator, bringing some of the benefits that we see today, especially for cloud service providers. Anything that can help our industry and companies like us is fantastic. I think it's important to perhaps mention what is all this about virtualization, digitization of the teleport, at least the way I think about it. There is a lot of conversations right now about digitizing the IF, the L-band element, effectively, generally on teleport terms, you know, what we call L-band is primarily an interface, an analog interface used to connect modems to a radio frequency chain. And the whole idea here is to be able to digitize these, which will allow to potentially virtualize modems and VSAT equipment that sits at the teleport, and even move that onto the cloud, onto virtualized environment. That would mean that we should be able to decouple what is effectively the RF chain and the big antennas that we have at the teleport, and the processing of those signals and the modems. And that has a number of benefits. You can move the modems processing onto the cloud, take advantages of the benefits that the cloud provides, flexibility, the elasticity. You can start a new, let's say, modem instance very, very quickly. You're just asking the cloud to provide you with the computer power to do that, and this is something that can be done, if not instantly, in a very short period of time. You remove the need to have order new hardware and have to bring it to the teleport, where that is just a piece of software that sits on commodity software in the cloud. You pay as you go, you pay for what you're using, so the virtual modems that you use, etc., etc. So the benefits are great, and especially this year. I mean, I've seen a lot of conversation, not only on webinars, forums, but also hot on the news. I believe recently, a few weeks ago, I heard about something called, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, the DiFi or DeFi consortium, which is the Digital IF Interoperability Consortium, which is basically created by a bunch of companies, well-known companies in the industry, that are promoting the standardization of this digital IF interface. And standardization, again, I think is a great idea, something that we need to do more in our industry, because that will allow us to have interoperability between vendors, avoid vendor lock-in, have more competitive health environments, and lower the costs, effectively make our solutions more efficient and cost-friendly for our customers.
As LEO constellations continue to roll out and take the spotlight, how should GEO operators respond? Well,
to try to advise on the big GEO operators and how they should move forward is, I think it's perhaps something that is quite challenging, but because no one has a crystal ball. But obviously, GEO operators, especially the big ones, we can see that they're following a number of strategies. I mean, if I think of the big four, perhaps Intelsat, SES, Eutelsat, Telesat, three of them have put big money on LEO investments, like Eutelsat with OneWeb, Telesat with the Lightspeed constellation, and SES with mPOWER, their own constellation as well. So either they are putting money for their own constellation, or they are putting money, to be part of the game, like Eutelsat with OneWeb. And other operators like Intelsat, even though they try to join with OneWeb, the initial stages of the company, the reality now, at the time we're speaking, it seems to be that Intelsat is currently more focused. I'm not saying they're not looking into the LEO space, I'm sure they are, but the strategy seems to be more engaged with the verticalization of their services. So perhaps different strategies. What they should be doing or who will be more successful is very hard to tell. Personally speaking, it's personal opinion, I think LEO constellations are here. They're going to happen. They are happening right now. The question is whether they're going to be they're going to close a business case and there will be effectively a financially viable program. Who knows? I mean, time will tell. There is also another thing that is happening that we have to remember is that geostationary satellites, the technology on geostationary satellites is moving very quickly as well. It's adding lots of new benefits. It's also transforming how these satellites are going to operate in the very near future. There is a lot of talk about processing on board, beamforming, beam hopping, and all sorts of different things. Also, the technology allows us now to have a lot more cost-efficient satellites that can have the same power than only a few years ago, had satellites that would cost hundreds of millions and would be as big as a truck or a bus. So that helps the geostationary satellite operators, obviously. It gives them more flexibility, it allows them to perhaps reduce some of their costs. But at the same time, it also lowers the barriers of entrance for other operators. So we've heard in the news companies that we hadn't heard 10 years ago, like Astranis or Ovzon, new geostationary satellite operators coming into place. So challenging times for geostationary operators, lots of things happening, and time will tell what the best strategy is going to be.
What's the potential for ground stations to branch into serving deep space applications? Do you see that becoming widespread at some point, assuming lunar business cases develop in line with optimistic expectations?
This is very interesting. It's potentially a new market for teleport operators. It's probably early days. Initial feeling is that these kind of space missions are big budget missions. They're limited in terms of volume and scale. There may be opportunities, but I don't feel today there will be that many, considering the amount of teleport operators that we exist today. But there are some of them have already engaged very well, like our friends at Gunhili Teleport. They seem to be promoting their own teleport for some of the deep space missions, and congratulations to them, because they saw a niche quickly and how they could repurpose their teleport to do other things that just apart from satellite communications. So perhaps there is an area in there to explore. I believe it's early days still. And one thing to remember, perhaps being a teleport in Spain and thinking about our current country here, there are currently already government-funded teleports that provide services for some of the European Space Agency missions and NASA missions, etc. So sometimes I find it hard to think that there's going to be many opportunities, because I would think that new projects would probably be looking at making use of those teleports, already familiar with that area of the business. But who knows? I mean, this is early stages, and if a lot of money is put in, and even especially if private investment is being put in for new space exploration projects, that could make it more interesting for us.
David Andre of Santander Teleport, thank you very much for your remarks.
Thank you very much, Laurence.
Wonderful. And again, I'm Laurence Russell for Satellite Evolution Group. Thank you very much for watching.